2 Chronicles chapter 3. Now Solomon began to build the house of the Lord at Jerusalem on Mount Moriah, where the Lord had appeared to his father David, at the place that David had prepared on the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. And he began to build on the 2nd day of the 2nd month in the 4th year of his reign. This is the foundation which Solomon laid for building the house of God. The length was 60 cubits by cubits according to the former measure, and the width 20 cubits. And the vestibule that was in front of the sanctuary was 20 cubits long across the width of the house, and the height was 120. He overlaid the inside with pure gold. The larger room he paneled with cypress, which he overlaid with fine gold, and he carved palm trees and chainwork on it. And he decorated the house with precious stones for beauty, and the gold was gold from Parvaim. He also overlaid the house, the beams and doorposts, its walls and doors with gold, and he carved cherubim on the walls. And he made the most holy place. Its length was according to the width of the house, 20 cubits, and its width 20 cubits. He overlaid it with 600 talents of fine gold. The weight of the nails was 50 shekels of gold, and he overlaid the upper area with gold. In the most holy place, he made 2 cherubim fashioned by carving, and overlaid them with gold. The wings of the cherubim were 20 cubits in overall length. One wing of the one cherub was 5 cubits, touching the wall of the room, and the other wing was 5 cubits, touching the wing of the other cherub. One wing of the other cherub was 5 cubits, touching the wall of the room, and the other wing also was 5 cubits, touching the wing of the other cherub. The wings of the cherubim spanned 20 cubits overall. They stood on their feet, and they faced inward. And he made the veil of blue, purple, crimson, and fine linen, and wove cherubim into it. Also he made in front of the temple 2 pillars, 35 cubits high, and the capital that was on the top of each of them was 5 cubits. He made the wreaths of chainwork as in the inner sanctuary, and put them on top of the pillars, and he made 100 pomegranates and put them on the wreaths of chainwork. Then he set up the pillars before the temple, one on the right hand and the other on the left. He called the name of the one on the right hand Jachin, and the name of the one on the left Boaz. So that's the end of chapter 3 as we read about the temple and the construction of it and the details. I think a couple things to remember is we may read it in present time and think that it was excess. Why does everything need to be covered with gold and all these costly stones and all that? But remember at that time, this was kind of the first, permanent temple that wasn't mobile. And unlike now where churches serve a local function, where you might have literally hundreds of churches in most counties or parishes or, areas. Back then, this was one temple, the only one in the world. And so it makes sense that they would give God their best. They had all this abundance. They had gold, they had silver, they had bronze, they had jewels. Why not use them for the number one purpose of worshiping God? So we can remember that and just recognize that today it doesn't mean that we should be using that expensive of things, but the principle of giving God our best is still valid. So when we go to worship, we should be giving God our best in our attention and our honor and all those things. We should be giving to the Lord, supporting His work. But that's the main reason we don't build each individual church with this kind of cost is it would be cost preventative, and instead of having multiple locations to worship, we don't want to live in a world where there's just one church in Jerusalem and people have to go there to worship. He wanted in the New Testament times us to go out. He wanted the Jews to go out of Jerusalem. He wanted the Gentiles to go out of Jerusalem and go into the uttermost parts of the earth to share the gospel.